All right, folks, let's get right into it. April not too kind to us. 10-23 record. We have May coming up, and now it's really time to figure out who we are going to be as a team. First order of business, we're going to do some roster moves, just the usual kind of moving guys up, moving guys down through 1 month of action. That's kind of how we like to see who is going to be on the team for the next future, who's going to move in minor leagues. So we're going to show you that. No super notables, a couple bullpen guys going down, a couple bullpen guys going up. But other than that, really just all standard stuff. Just wanted to let you guys know that around every month we kind of look and move some guys around. Biggest move, Antonio Sensatella doing very well in AAA. He'll be coming back up to the major leagues, and he'll be in the rotation for the foreseeable future. First piece of game action, Tyler O'Neill, a triple away from the cycle, and he has a really big moment here, really trying to open this game up against the Nationals. Jackson Rutledge on the hill, and O'Neill has been very, very good for us. We've seen him a couple times already make some good plays. 3 for 4, moving up to that leadoff spot was very beneficial for him, beneficial for the team as well. It's been what we could hope for O'Neill. Maybe we aren't that good. He's going to pop up here, but he's been good. He's a guy we can definitely flip if need be. Unfortunately, no one comes home to score, but the Rockies end up holding on and winning anyway. Now we're jumping into our first full game of the month. Again, we like to show 2 full games, really help get the scope of this series. And it's the San Francisco Giants, a team that struggled last year, but is right around 500, playing still in that role to try to win the division. And we have Antonio Sensatella, his first time seeing him through his first 3 starts. He's been very, very good, taking over from where he was in AAA. Fortunately, he's going to allow a hit to Austin Slater here to open up the game. But Sensatella, a guy we lost last year to injury, didn't pitch at all last year, has a couple more years on a contract I don't love. I don't see him too much in our plans going forward, but we might be stuck with him a little bit. It's 2 pitches, 2 singles, as now Otto Lopez gets in on the mix, and just like that, 2 runners on for Sensatella. Maybe his good luck to start the season will be fading. Does get a pop-up here with the bases loaded. Marco Luciano can't do anything with it. Bobby Dahlbeck playing second base today, and Sensatella gets out of the jam, which is, I guess, something you like to see. So gives him a couple hits, bases loaded, but no one comes across to score. On the other side of the coin, Michael Lorenzen, a guy who did not sign until very late into free agency a year ago, now finds himself with the Giants, and he's going to give up a opening at-bat home run to Tyler O'Neill. We were just talking about how good he has been, and he gets the party started early. Second pitch of the game, opposite field, a line drive, 437 feet. O'Neill has to watch this one go. 100 miles per hour off of the bat. Nolan Jones, he won't get a home run here, but he'll clank it off of that scoreboard and the top fence over there in right field. He'll get into a double. So the Rockies offense getting going early. Josh Bell, next guy up, and he's going to go yard. No, he is not. Just pulled it a little bit, and that is quite all right. Josh Bell, another guy, just like O'Neill, has been awesome. Now he's going to sting one into the gap. Nolan Jones going to take home after Jung-Hoo Lee stumbled out there in center field. Allows Josh Bell to move up as well. And now all of a sudden it's 2-0 Rockies, jumping over the Giants here early. Love to see it. Again, stings that one in the gap after pulling that last pitch foul for a homer. And you like to see that they, players that pull those pitches and have those foul home runs, stay with it. Don't try to over-exaggerate, overdo anything with it. I love to see it. Yanquiel Fernandez hitting at just 200, but he's had a power stroke this season, and it continues. Not the hardest hit ball, but it gets out 4-0 Rocks. He's leading us in home runs and RBI this season. And the rookie, or basically the rookie, really showing off in that DH spot. Sorely need his power, and he is showing it off here. Drew Romo is going to go up the middle and scooped over to second base, and that will do it for the first inning. And already a lot of fireworks. 2 homers hit in that inning. Was almost 3, and the Rockies lead 4-0. Top 3, Jung-Hoo Lee is going to be looking silly on that slider by Senzatella. And Rogers is going to get a fastball middle. He is going to park it into the bleachers. The 3rd home run of the game for the Rockies. It's a dinger derby here in Colorado as he went 430 feet. And again, just middle, a fantastic swing. His compact swing meant for contact, but he's able to get some power here. Top of the 6th as Jung-Hoo Lee finally gets over Senzatella. He's been fantastic so far, as you see, through 5+ innings, as Lee is going to end up with a double after getting thrown at third base. You love the speed, you love the balls on Lee here, but you don't run on Brenton Doyle. Bobby Dahlbeck playing second base, so a little bit stronger arm than usual. And he gets Lee hosed. On the ground for 7 complete scoreless innings as Drew Gilbert, the guy that they got from the Mets in Season 1, is going to roll over that pitch. And out of the inning, no jam by Senzatella. We're already through the 7th inning here. 5 hits given up, no runs for Senzatella. Evan Justice is going to come in with a string of lefties here later in the game. Senzatella did fantastic, and Jung-Hoo Lee is going to get on base in the top of the 9th inning. Still 5-0. So the Rockies offense went a little cold since that Rogers home run, and the offense for the Giants couldn't really do anything. And Justice is going to walk Anthony Santander. So first 2 on. Thairo Estrada is going to beat Nolan Jones, and O'Neill gets to it. Jung-Hoo Lee is going to score. Evan Justice not having the best of days so far. Marco Luciano, next batter, is going to take Justice deep, and just like that, it is a 1-run game, no outs here in the 9th, a meltdown for Evan Justice, and we have to pull him. We were going to give him some opportunities. We had a lot of lefties coming up. We thought he could get out of the jam. He just could not, and we were in danger of losing this one just like that. Again, this is a game that we had well in hand. And with a couple swings of the bat, some good patient offense, the Giants decided they wanted to play baseball today here in the 9th inning. To bring up Justin Lawrence, our closer, hasn't had a fantastic season, but he's still our man to come out at the end of the game, shut things down, and with no outs, a 1-run game. Clean slate, basically a normal safe situation for him, despite how the inning has gone. He'll get Wilmer Flores to strike out, swinging for out number 1. He's so deceptive with that arm angle in that sweeper. Right down the middle, Patrick Bailey can't hold on as he swings through it. Now with 1 out remaining on the ground to Dahlbeck, who flips over to Brendan Rodgers playing short today, and that will do it. So the Rockies get a power surge early. The Giants get a power surge late. But at the end of the day, it's the Colorado Rockies picking up the win here in our first game action of the month. Splits by Luciano, including that 3-run home run in the 9th, a double by Jung-Hoo Lee, and Lorenzen was okay. Joey Wentz came out of the bullpen and did fantastic through 4 innings. Top of the lineup, did fantastic. Bottom of the lineup, didn't do squat here today. You saw the doubles in the first inning, a couple of home runs, and really that was it for the offense. Brendan Rodgers, he has a long hitting streak, and we are going to precursor to this series. We'll be playing the Marlins in our next game here, but here's a little show. Rodgers, a guy who, again, could be on the chopping block. We just haven't been good, and this is kind of something that I planned for. Signing the guys we did in free agency, guys we were able to flip if need be. Rodgers, a guy that definitely was in flip consideration with our middle infield for the future, pretty much locked up in Tovar and Amador. I love Brendan Rodgers. I love what he does for us, but I think at this point in his career, the money he wants, plus where he is as a player. He's been great for us, but I can't lock him up. I can't lock him down as the everyday second baseman, as his hit streak will stay alive. He adds another one to, I believe this is up to 18 or 19 now. So pretty lengthy hitting streak and getting hot at the right time. Nope, they actually go up to 12. So excuse me, a little bit ahead of the curve there. He gets an Edward Cabrera pitch and puts it right into left center field. Another guy that we're going to be looking at to potentially trade away. And just like that, the Rockies will hold on to win. Now let's take a big game against the Fish here right now. So again, back in Miami for the next game in this series, as it's a day game here in beautiful Miami, Florida. The Rockies 18-38. The Marlins are looking to compete in the NL East, especially with the Phillies and the Braves having the showdown they did towards the end of the season last year. It's nice to see another team get into the mix, and Sandy Alcantara didn't play last year. Has picked up from his Cy Young season a couple years ago, right where he left off. Josh Bell, former Marlin, is going to strike out on the circle change, and just a heads up, Sandy was filthy. This was straight peak Cy Young Sandy Alcantara that we unfortunately saw today. On the other side of the coin, it's going to be Kyle Freeland, who hasn't been good. Again, had that one miracle year in 2018, 2019. Since then, has been kind of butt cheeks. Beltovar Bell, as a ground end to a double play by Luis Ariz, ends the first inning. No score here in Miami, and some good defense by the Rockies early on. Nick Fortes going to ground into another double play. Nolan Jones getting fancy with it. Love moving him to the hot corner. I think it's going to open up, especially how crowded we were in the outfield. And I think he's suited to play third base well. His arm is one of the best arms in all of baseball. So he can play there, no problem. Nick Maton's going to go the other way and slap it down the line. O'Neal's going to hustle to it, but not before Maton gets a double. And I believe this third inning is where shit really hits the fan for the Rockies. Jesus Sanchez, he's going to look at a borderline pitch and draw the walk. So 2 on, no out for the Marlins. Jazz Chisholm, an all-star, the cover boy MLB The Show a few years ago. He's going to go up the middle. Bretton Doyle's arm is fantastic as well, and just ahead of the throw is Maton. The first run of the day comes on a dribbler up the middle from Jazz Chisholm Jr. Stone Garrett, a guy that they got from Nationals, he clips it off the bag. That's his unfortunate bounce of the ball for Freeland and the Rockies. Bases loaded, 1 out, and now a run will be walked in. Jake Berger, they don't want anything to do with him. Unfortunately, no base open for him. So now bases loaded, 1 out. Nick Fortes goes down looking. So that's a good way to bounce back. If you can get the out here, Freeland will be able to minimize the damage. I think that would be very, very beneficial. Ty France, former Mariner, now a Fish, deep to left field and by the Auto Nation alley. Out of here, grand slam for Ty France and the Marlins. Hit on a line, got out of here quickly, and just like that, it is 6-0 Marlins. Their fantastic season continues as they beat up on us here through 3 innings. Kyle Freeland getting tattooed early on, like he's done all season. And we're going to bring in former Marlin Ryan Weathers. He hasn't had too great of a season, as Jazz Chisholm is going to take him deep and over the fence there by that 335 sign. Just skips over, and 8-0 Marlins. And I'll be quite frank with you, it was not good. Why are we showing this Zach Veen at bat? Well, that's the first hit of the game for the Rockies. We had a walk or two, but the first hit, and just like that, Veen gets greedy, trying to stretch it into a double. And that's just kind of the way things have gone for us today. The one good thing we do, we still manage to fuck it up. That's just the Rockies' way I guess. Arraez places the tag. Veen very much out. Luis Arraez gets plunked with that Joe Kelly sweeper, and Joe Kelly did not do well in this one. Again, 10-0 Marlins. Jake Burger. The Burger! He goes the opposite way. That's just going to clear the bases. Zach Veen on his horse to get to it. And actually, he'll prevent the run from third scoring, so it doesn't quite clear the bases. But 12-0 Miami. Just get me out of here, man. But even more Ty France damage over to Zach Veen, who is just doesn't get it in. And you're going to have 2 runs score on the sacrifice fly. This is just, you can't have that. You can't do that. You got to just get it in, man. I showed this because why? It's probably the only James McCann at that we're going to see all season. He gets on with a single, so I just want to give James McCann, our backup catcher, a little shout. Shout out James McCann. What a guy. Brenton Doyle. He's going to score a run, but ground into a double play again. Just so Rockies at this point. 14-1. We're getting our asses handed to us. Jordan Beck, a 206 hitter. He's going to put a good charge into this one. Alcantara still in the ball game. And that was going to drop down for a double, so an actual run that I can kind of hang our hat on here. 14-2. So Jordan Beck, he's helping his case, trying to win the job in the corner outfield. Zach Veen starting to teeter off just a small bit here. Brennan Rodgers playing shortstop on the day, facing Alcantara for the third time, and he will dump this in front of the left fielder. Sanchez had to block it, so Beck on his horse moving all the way, just like that. 14-3, a little respectable, I guess, right? Right? And no, it's going to be JT Chargois to close things out. Zach Veen gives this one a ride. Doesn't quite get to the corner. And I believe that's Chris Bryant, who is in the game, is going to be out at third. And again, as Rockies, a way to end things as we possibly can get. So that is going to do it here for the games played today. Again, Miami took us to the woodshed. No one did anything. We had 3 hits by Zach Veen. He was the only guy who showed up. A couple hits sprayed here and there towards the end of the game, but nothing of note. A couple errors, and Freeland just didn't even make it past 3 innings. Evan Justice, if you see his line, no innings pitched, 3 runs. He was awful. And everyone on the Marlins had a career day. Nick Fortes and surprisingly Luis Arraez didn't have a hit. All the guys to have hits and multiple hits, Luis Arraez wasn't one of them. How are we doing, everybody? And I just wanted to go over some prospects that we're looking at very early in the morning. Could not sleep. Figured that I was very excited about the first kind of wave of reports we've been getting as we end May here. So these are the guys we're looking. We have the number 2 pick in the draft for our first round pick, and then subsequently like around the 40, around 70, just down like that. I think we got 1 extra pick from last year, but these are guys who we're looking at. Number 1 guy on MLB's board that we just don't see why. Barney Tashner. He's a right-handed pitcher from the University of Connecticut. Everything looks okay, but nothing screams this guy should be the first 5 picks off the board. A guy that if we were drafting towards the end, if we were in the playoffs last year, a guy we definitely would consider. But with our number 2 pick, I think there's more value down the board. 4-seam, 12-6, changeup, and slider on him as I look at the reports. Does throw the fastball up to 99 miles per hour. Changeup is a lot of velocity, 12-6 in the mid-80s, slider in the high 80s to low 90s. But nothing screams, like he has a couple decent pitches, good pitches, but nothing plus. Even with that velocity, he's just a guy that everyone came in, obviously a starter, at a good school, been there for a few years, throws gas. He's the number 1 on a really good NCAA tournament, College World Series type team. He screams top 3 pick to us. Looking at him, we didn't love what we saw. We're definitely trying to look at more position players. Lewis Harrington is a guy from junior college out there in California. Lefty bat, plays first base. more contact over power, definitely favors hitting against righties as a lefty, but a guy who's not going to strike out a bunch. We've seen his bat-to-ball skills are impeccable, and he's going to be very disciplined at the plate. Just as a hitter, overall, top to bottom, he seems like a guy that we would want here in Colorado. The one gripe, I guess, is his fielding isn't going to be too good. He's not the fastest guy, but if he's going to be playing first base, I don't give a fuck. I mean, he could have no arms. As long as he could hit, I don't really care. Definitely a guy we're looking at, especially with how pitcher heavy our farm system is now after just 1 year with the guys who we did have at the top of our board graduating and all the guys we brought in last year. I think we have a lot of pitching. Obviously, we're still going to look at it. We want a surplus there almost at all times. Those are the trade pieces that get us the stars, that get us where we need to go. So if we can still get pitching down the board but prioritize good position players to develop, I think that's a strategy that we want to implement. Lewis Pittman, another guy we're looking at here early in the process. We have him 11th on our board. MLB and the scouts around at this point have him around 12, 14, around that area. So it would be a little bit high if we went and picked him, but a guy that if I don't love anybody, he's a guy that maybe we could do. Another guy all around the bat is pretty solid, but just a tier below where Harrington is. I definitely would like Harrington over Pittman, but there's no weaknesses in his game. He hits both sides pretty well, has enough power, actually favors power just a little bit. The vision's good, discipline's where it should be. Fielding, he's actually very good. One of the best arms in all of the draft, and actually a pretty fast guy for a third baseman. This guy's out of high school. We still have some more scouting for him to do out of Alabama. But Lewis Pittman, a guy early on in the process we've identified and might be looking to make a play for. And the last guy on our board so far, again, this is just the early kind of who we might be looking at 2 portion of our scouting. We'll get more in depth while we at the next month, and especially when we head to the draft. But Bud Leonard, a guy from Washington, older than everybody else. He's been at Washington State University for 4 years, and this guy can play. I mean, he's number 4 on Baseball Prospectus's board. Number 3 on our board. We like him slightly more. Definitely the best player that we've looked at so far today, but I might favor the position players. However, the one thing about this guy is, my scouts say, his ceiling is ace. His floor is like 2. Like, this guy is almost as can't miss as we can. All the doctor stuff has come back pretty good. We think that he's going to be durable, and that he goes so many innings in college. He strikes out guys at a pretty nice pace. His home runs per 9 is the one thing that is irking me. And you can look at this one of 2 ways. Playing Colorado, they're going to give up home runs either way. Who cares? Or you want a guy who can prevent home runs as much as possible. Try to minimize that guy. He's a strikeout guy. It's a power pitcher. He's going to get some fly balls. It's going to happen. But especially, he doesn't really do himself any favors in that department, keeping the ball in the yard. But he might be so good that we might roll the dice on him. His pitches, nothing looks fantastic. Fastball, pretty standard. He tops out in the mid 80s, kind of mid 90s. This would be standard fastball in 1873 if he topped out in the mid 80s. Tops out in the mid 90s. He's going to be playing more in that 91 to 93 range. Then can hump it up to about 96. We've seen the curveball is really, really good, and he's projected to be his best pitch right now and in the future. Changeup is decent, and his 2-seam fastball, actually he throws a little bit harder than his 4-seam fastball, which you don't see too often. So it has that break plus that velocity increase, so maybe he's going to rely more on his 2-seamer than his 4-seamer. But that's what we have for scouting right now, and that's going to do it here for the episode. Hope you enjoyed. Cannot wait to see what the rest of the season has in store for us. We're on to June, baby. See you soon.